So good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time that you are watching this video. I am once again Richard Taylor, doing a follow-up video on a matter that I described earlier, one of my earlier videos, and I'm here on Slaughter Street, as you saw in the thumbnail for the title of the video, Slaughter Street. And it's a fitting title for the street because on this street, about 10 years ago, a Jamaican immigrant was slaughtered by members of the Goldsboro Police Department, the Wayne County Sheriff Department, and the Aggressive Criminal Enforcement Team, and many other groups that was involved in this situation. I made a video about a couple of weeks ago about the Jamaican immigrant who was stopped by sheriff's departments, and they were openly discussing the possibility of killing the man if he ran, or they would hope he would run so they can kill him. And then 1 year later, at this house right behind me, this man, the Jamaican immigrant in question, was slaughtered in a no-knock warrant type fashion, which has been made popular by Breonna Taylor and most recently Amir Locke, and probably numerous other people who have, not garnered the attention, just like the immigrant in this situation. Now, it was about in August of 2012 where police entered this location from sources close to the incident. The peephole was covered up, and they entered the house without announcing themselves as police. And when they entered, allegedly, and I say allegedly because the individual who was alleged to open fire on the police was never prosecuted for that. So that's once again a red flag, and I'll do a totally different video on that, a little later. But the individual was allegedly to open fire on the police, and in return, the police opened fire on the now deceased Jamaican immigrant. And from autopsy reports, he was shot multiple times from an independent autopsy report, but by the police and their reports, they said the man was only shot one time in the chest. But from, once again, sources close to this incident, the man had bullet wounds in his hands, which indicated that his hands were up. And so, mind you now, like I said, this is the same man that the police were on video discussing, actively killing this man. And this man later beat the charges that they had arrested him on, which further, I guess, induced their ire to commit this act. Now, once again, there were several individuals in this house. One was subsequently charged with attempted murder on 5 police officers. Now, he was jailed for about 3 years and eventually let go. And we're going to talk about that in a later video. Another relative of mine that was in the house, he was also shot in the foot. And another person who was in the house was uninjured. And the thing about this is, once again, there was a no-knock warrant, and the warrant never specified who the police were looking for or what they were looking for, which further leads to my speculation of a cover-up, because the only person who was shot in the home was the Jamaican immigrant, who was unarmed with his hands up. And the same Jamaican immigrant was found not guilty because of the video that I've been privy to see of police unlawfully stopping him and also plotting his death. So how coincidental is it that a year after the police stopped this man and talking about killing him, where this man was shot in a no-knock warrant, where he was unarmed, and no individual in the house was shot. Now, if somebody opens fire on the police are going to open fire on who's ever in the residence. They're not picking and choosing who to shoot or who not to shoot. They are shooting who's ever in the vicinity. So the fact that this gentleman, this Jamaican immigrant, was shot, and once again the autopsy report showed that his hands was up and he received gunshots through the hand, and also through once again more evidence that has been related to me. He was actually covering himself up. You know, he was turning over kitchen tables, covering himself up to avoid the hell of bullets that was coming at him. So once again, you know, I want to say rest in peace to the gentleman, Steve, Jamaican immigrant, who was once again, I think, targeted in this matter. Now, if you research the incident, and this incident happened in 2012, you will never see any mention of this deceased man's name or any charges brought against him. The only thing you will see is, you know, the person who was arrested for opening fire on the police, which was he was subsequently released as well. But you will never hear this man's name mentioned in any of the articles, in any of the reports. You will never hear this deceased man's deceased man's name mentioned, who lost his life in this no-knock warrant aggressive criminal enforcement raid on this house. Somebody stays there now, so I don't want to, you know, draw too much attention. But this is the evidence. This is the residence where this happened, on Slaughter Street, which once again is ironic of the name Slaughter Street, because this man, if in my opinion, and in my belief, he was intentionally slaughtered for whatever reason. Maybe it was a vendetta, because he had beat the charges that was levied against him, against the officers who were caught on video saying that they wanted to kill him, and they hoped he run until they'll kill him, or whatever the reason may be. But this man was slaughtered. His name has not been mentioned in any of the reports, any of the articles. You can look this up, 2012. And, you know, it just saddens me. So I want to, once again, bring some things to light, because of the recent corruption and, you know, the misconduct of Goldsboro Police, and also Wayne County Sheriff Departments in the case of Rico McDowell and Anthony Williams and many others, Ashley as well. I did a video on her. She was assaulted by police. So this is something that I'm doing to kind of give people an insight on what really goes on. You know, you hear about, okay, a man arrested for shooting at the police, but then the backstory is that the police actually killed someone in that residence who was unarmed. They were never held accountable. There was never an investigation done. There was no negligence. There was no misconduct. And once again, the individual who they said pulled the trigger was eventually cleared on those charges. So why, once again, was the man killed in this no-knock warrant? Why was there a warrant in the first place? There has not been established, no name on the warrant, anything of that nature. So this is something that we all need to think about. Once again, I'm here on what's happening. How you doing?
I ain't gonna complain.
All right, good to see you. Yeah, so you know, this is just, once again, just another incident of police cover-up, I think, in my opinion. But I'm going to do the last video concerning this, unless I get my hands on the physical video where police are actively talking about killing this man. This will be the last segment, the next to the last segment, which I will do. But I thank y'all for tuning in, man. But just be aware when you see things in the news and you read about articles that you know, give certain impressions. This is always not the case. Whatever you see in the media or whatever the police reports is not always the same case. So once again, I'm at the scene of the slaughter of the Jamaican immigrant in 2012, and I'm going to give you guys more information as information is related to me. But y'all be blessed. Thank y'all for tuning in.